That guy was presenting a lot of challenges in single leg finish. How did he feel there, and how were you able to eventually solve that puzzle?
Yeah, he was good. Like what I said to Coach Casey when we were walking off, like rat on a Cheeto, you know. Like I'm not relenting, you know. I'm gonna keep going, and especially in there, like I feel like that's like difference between like pretty good, and like really great. Because like when you get in, you gotta finish. Like on guys like JB's a big one that comes to my mind, and David Carr, they helped me a lot with when I got to their legs, it kind of just like stopping. And I can't stop. I got to keep going. And I think there was those two first ones that I got to. It was like, this is it. Like I don't. You can't let them score on you from your shots, and you definitely got to score when you're shooting. So, and that's easier said than done. But I put myself in those positions with volume shooting and going to get it to be able to take down. So those finishes are big.
You were up 2-0 pair of ones. That's a very tenuous lead there. The double leg, how big was getting that 2 on the edge there?
Yes. I've been thinking a lot lately, like, when you think about, I've been playing chess a lot lately.
Okay.
And like, when you're black and you have to start second, it's very hard to get that first attack and move. So you start going. And so when you look in like lots of sports, you realize that when it's defense time, that's when a lot of people get scored on. And whatever that is, right? If it's chess, if it's, you know, soccer or basketball, football, whatever, or wrestling, right? I got to keep going. Like I said, rat on a Cheeto, just keep going.
Talk about your entire tournament and what you take away from taking the bronze medal and coming back strong after, you know, maybe not the best day yesterday.
Yeah, it's tough, but this is like the time I really want to give gratitude because, like, I'm so lucky to be at Penn State. Like, every day I wake up and I'm like, I look down, like, I get to wear this. I get to wear Nittany Lion Wrestling Club. I get to wear Penn State. Like, I'm so grateful to be a part of that, and that group. And, you know, I could go down the list, and you guys know them, but it's like everybody helps. And it's why I started with that is I think when it's game time and it's time to go, you know, you sink to the level of who's around you and who's been helping you. And I think that's why, you know, I went like this, and I'm not pointing at, oh, me. It's like that's heart, and who helps me, right, will, and who helps me to have that heart and that willpower, and it's those guys at NOWC. It's the men and women that are around that program.
Talk about, you know, yesterday and kind of the problems that were presented yesterday in your quarterfinal match, and then what you were able to adjust bringing it into today and being able to scare that bronze.
Honestly, probably a lot of some of the other times that I maybe lost, just wanting to freaking just scrap and go get people. And sometimes going to get people will leave you open. So you got to do it with good stance, good pressure, and good positioning, right? Where my hands are going first. And I think that's the biggest one. But the biggest thing, like overnight, realizing that. But again, like it's really easy to be like, oh man, like I lost. Like, did I do everything right? And then you start like really hyper fixating on every single thing of the past. For me, it's like 6-7 months since the Olympic team trials. And it's like, hold on, like that's not what it is to, you know, work your hardest every day. It's not, you know, I do those things. I live the lifestyle. I'm not out doing crazy stuff, right? And I think, yeah, that's the big things.
Season starting soon. How excited are you to jump into the Folkstyle swing of things?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's funny because I've been like Folkstyle, freestyle, so like switching on and off, and I believe it's very fun to do that, to switch back and forth and get better at both. Because there are certain things and facets that you need to be good at. I'm pumped to be able to put on a Penn State singlet again, and I was telling Coach Casey that it's like only a few more matches and I get to put on a Penn State singlet. I'm pumped for that. But yeah, it's going to be exciting.
A little time off when you get back and back into training, maybe miss an event or two, or do you know?
We'll see. I mean, it's kind of like always, this sounds like cliche or, oh, you know, I'm a tough guy. But I feel like season's always going. Yeah. And so it's like I'm always wanting to be the best wrestler I can be. And that's what matters. And so when it's time to go out and freaking bring the heat, I'm ready to do it.
You always bring the heat.
Yeah, thank you.
Love watching you.
Can you put in perspective of like how dominant your U23 like career has kind of been, and like I mean like so many up and down moments, and like winning it last year, getting bronze this year. Can you put in perspective of like how dominant you've been at this age group?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot. Like, I think a lot lately, and it's not bad. It's good. A lot of people want to. I think it's a trend to bring up God, right? Glory to God, and I think that's very important. I think that's very, very important. And I think just things that I've been learning is that I don't need to speak God or say I'm a Christian or I'm a Muslim or whatever. I want that to be apparent by the way that I treat people and the way that I compete. And I think when I step out there, in my mind, this is about me. It's not even about my coaches or Nittany Lion Wrestling Club or Penn State. It's about going as hard as I can, that at the end of the day, the glory is going to Him, right? And I want to do that by the way I treat people. Love, right? What it is to be loved by God, but what it is to love like God. So if I'm out there bringing the heat and I want to glorify Him, or it's in our discussion right now. Right now I'm not, speaking down on people or swearing or doing those things. I want to treat everybody with kindness, and I think that that puts it into perspective. I think it's who your why, right?
Appreciate your time, Mitchell.